Hey guys, welcome to Remarried Love, the best new relationship podcast for everyday men and women who desire to be married again. We're your hosts, Dee
and Aki,
and we're going to have candid, heartfelt conversations about the journey to a healthy remarriage.
We're so glad you're here. So in today's podcast, we're going to talk about the 5 habits you have to break in a remarriage.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about being remarried, these will work for you as well.
That's right. So there's no judgment, okay? It's just if you've been married before, if you're thinking about getting married, all these habits can work for you.
Or if you're in a serious relationship after a divorce, these will work for you as well.
Yeah, so let's get into it. And when we were dating, I wish I knew these things to begin to work on before we got married, because I think that for me, I did it while we were married.
In my opinion, having any kind of tool to help you before you say I do is going to be beneficial to your next marriage.
Yeah, so I'll say this, this is like a relationship reset if you're already married. Mm-hmm. If you've said I do, you're in there and you want to improve your marriage, let's break these 5 habits.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay, so number 1, it seems like it would be obvious, but I think it really affects remarriage, and that is to not compare your spouse to your ex.
Yeah, comparing is definitely not a good thing to do. I don't think anybody wants to feel like they're somebody's second best, or you're having to live up to another person's standard.
When you compare someone to someone you've been with before, it's like you're bringing them into your relationship. And that is never good, for anyone's self-esteem or intimacy or feeling connected to you.
Comparing a spouse to an ex-spouse will hurt your current relationship, period. You're no longer in a previous relationship. Now you have to build this new relationship so that it goes on forever.
So, did you feel like I compared you to my ex-spouse?
I did feel like you compared me to your ex-spouse. Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing is that person is not like me. We're 2 totally different types of people.
Why do you even think I was making a comparison?
I think that sometimes we make comparisons because we are used to one thing and now we have something different. And so when you have something that you're not used to, you tend to compare it to what you were used to.
Yeah. So I was like trying to handle my uncomfortableness. I mean, I was comfortable with you. I'm trying to think why I even did it.
I think that sometimes we just have certain habits like we're talking about that you have to break and that you have to change in order to go forward with something new.
How did I break it, or did I? Do you think I broke it?
You did break it, and it took some time to break.
Yeah.
And so I realized that as a person who loves you, I had to give you time to overcome certain habits that you engaged in at that time.
Well, you bringing it to my attention did help a lot. Like to say, hey, I'm not him, And so that kind of like made me think, okay, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? And why am I saying this? And so it helped me a lot. You brought it to my attention and you weren't really upset with me. You were just like, hey,
I think I brought it to your attention because, like you said, I was not upset with you. I just wanted you to realize that there's a habit that needs to be broken. And I'm not paying his price.
Right.
So I'm not going to pay for the things that he did. Mm-hmm. So let's not talk about it as though I did those things. And so that's one of the reasons why I brought it to your attention.
I think too, if you're in a relationship and the person is still in contact with their ex-spouse, like co-parenting or something like that, you can also fall into that habit of talking about your ex-spouse because they're kind of
still there.
Yeah. And then you can kind of compare them, not meaning to, but you can even mention something that maybe they did with the kids and they're saying it like, well, you do this with the kids, but my ex did this way or that way. And sometimes it's not even meant in malice or anything. You're not trying to hurt the person, but you'll just fall into this comparison.
Well, the next thing someone says is, why don't you go back to that person?
Or if they're so good.
Yeah.
Then,
if they were so good, just go back to them.
Yeah. Right. You've probably heard us mention this before. Both Dee and I have been through divorces, and now we're 15 years strong in our remarriage journey. So trust us when we say we get it when starting over and building a new life together. If you're ready to reclaim your power in love, life, and money, I wrote Power Over All just for you. It's real, it's encouraging, and it's meant to walk with you as you heal and grow. There's also a companion journal to help you track your progress and reflect all year long. Grab your copy today and step fully into the power God already gave you. Links in the description. Now let's get back to the episode. So it's best just to not say anything, even if you are having that in your mind, the first step is to just not say it out loud.
But I will say that if someone loves you and you love that person, then you want to know the heart of that person. So hopefully you're not saying it in a malicious way. You're not doing it out of malice. You just have an unconscious thought process and you just spoke it. And that's something that you want to change. And that's why we're talking about the habits.
Yeah. And it's really important too, because habits can lead to an action. Like, let's say a simple comparison, like, well, my ex used to like steak. You don't like steak? It's kind of generalities, like all exes or all men or all women. My ex used to like this perfume. You don't like this perfume? It can be very subtle. It's not even something that is, like you said, the person's not trying to be malicious. They're just trying to really understand this new relationship in this new environment.
It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Sometimes men and women both will state something that an ex has done or that they did or did not like. So we all have to be mindful of that. And I was also going to tell you that it took some time for us to stop talking about our exes and the things that they did, the things that they said.
Just period.
Yeah. Talking about them, period. How they were. So that did take some time for us to stop doing after we were divorced.
And we didn't know that would be a habit that may come up. I wish somebody told me the 5 things, not to do or to stop doing before we had even gotten married, because I think I would have been more cognizant of it and tried not to do that as much.
Well, I think that after you get a divorce, you really don't want to talk about that person. So it's kind of odd or funny that you would talk to it with your new spouse,
Yeah, that you
would mention their name or mention things about them.
I think we talked about our exes because we were healing and we were trying to find out about each other. So we were asking each other about our past, basically. And that's how they came up.
But then there came a time when we had to say, you know what, let's not talk about them anymore. Let's just move on and just start our life, do what we want to do with our lives, get to know each other, and just move on.
And I think that helped. That's a good point, because we started concentrating on our preferences. We really started zoning in. So if you're in a relationship and you feel like you are having a habit of bringing up or comparing your ex-spouse, one thing that you can do is just work on learning your spouse, your person that you are in a relationship with. They are different and they are new, and you may feel like you're the same, but you are evolving as well.
Well, the relationship is new. Everything about you in that relationship is new. So even if you feel like you're the same person, you're not the same person with the other person. You're a different person with a new person and a new relationship. So talking about your ex, bringing it up, having a habit of comparing is not going to work for your current relationship.
Yeah, so we'll stop that. And what we'll start is just learning the preferences of your new spouse. And then if you are thinking some things in comparison, just not verbalizing that anymore. Just keep it inside.
Yeah, sometimes things don't have to be said.
Right. Yeah.
Here's a tip to break the habit of comparing your partner to your ex.
You can start journaling all of the unique qualities and features that you love about your new spouse.
That'll help you to think about all of the great things that person is.
That can keep you focused on the new and not the old. So subconsciously, you're just bringing in things that you like. One thing I did is I wrote 10 things that I really loved about you. And I remember when I was mad, I remember to take a deep breath and just to read all of those things that I said. And it worked so effectively that I actually was upset that I wasn't upset anymore. That just remembering all the wonderful things that my husband did or how he is. And not only did it make me feel good, but it reminded me of why I love him and why we're on this journey together.
Well, I appreciate that.
All right. So the second habit that you have to break in a new relationship and in a remarriage is avoiding the hard conversations.
So I will say that you have to have the difficult conversations to grow in your current relationship. It's not going to be a perfect relationship by itself. You have to have the conversations, good and bad, or trying, I should say. They're not really bad because they're actually going to be things.
Well, they're difficult.
They're
They're hard.
They may be hard for you, but the thing is, it's going to be great for your relationship because now you're giving each other an understanding of who you are, where you are, what you want to do, where you're going. So you're going to have all types of conversations.
So what would you consider a difficult conversation? I know one.
What?
Where we were going to live.
Yes.
Was that difficult? I mean...
Well, it was difficult because we were in two different places when we got together. And after we got married, we still were in two different places. Most people were in the same location, but we were actually in two different locations. We had married,
to move. Yeah.
And we were doing counseling actually. And the counselor said, you guys have to get into the same house.
Yeah. So, you were living in your apartment and I was living with my dad.
Yeah.
And we got married and we still had those separate residences, even though like I would be over there and you were with me when we were married, but we didn't have a home.
Yeah.
That was difficult. That's kind of like little difficult. What's a really hard conversation that you're going to have? Yeah.
I think that a challenging conversation that most people will talk about after they are really in their relationship is sex. Talking about preferences, talking about dislikes, talking about wants, needs, desires. I think those are difficult questions, and it can be difficult.
And conversations. Yeah. And so that kind of goes into the comparison, because if you're talking about that and then you're comparing, it could just really not be good. So you want to have difficult conversations and not be afraid of them, because they will come up in a remarriage. You just have to have them.
They are definitely going to come up.
Because you had a relationship before and you're kind of needing to express your expectations in your new relationship.
Especially if you were in a long-term relationship, like 20 years, 30 years.
And now you're in a new one.
That's going to be a shocker to your system a little bit, if I could say it like that. Having conversations that are beginning conversations again is difficult for someone who's been in a 20-year marriage.
Right.
Because now you're starting over, you're getting to know someone, they're getting to know who you are. So now you're getting to know who you are as we, not just I.
So you're saying, like, if you're a widow maybe and you've been married for a long time.
Yes.
And now you're in a new relationship, and you're going to have conversations that maybe you felt like, hey, I had these conversations 20 years ago. I don't really want to have them again. Maybe you have a little bit of exhaustion.
Yes.
Because that could cause the conversation to be difficult.
Well, you had somebody who you felt knew who you were.
Yeah.
They knew your likes, your dislikes. And so now you're starting over again.
You're kind of like reintroducing yourself, re-explaining yourself. And that could be considered a hard conversation because, like we said, it's kind of mentally exhausting. That's also a way that we could categorize a hard conversation. It's not just the topic, but it's just the repetitiveness of it, that you had to talk about it again. You had to go back and recap. You're
basically giving someone else a new understanding of who you are as a person, so that they understand your likes and your dislikes.
Yeah. So tip number 2 to break the habit of avoiding a difficult conversation is...
You can schedule one-on-one conversations with your spouse. Schedule times to talk to each other.
And make sure that you don't call it a date.
No.
But that you really say, and you guys both agree that you're going to be talking about how you guys are feeling, kind of giving a check-in, a well check of the marriage, and you are intentional about scheduling it.
You're both in it together, and you both have a voice in your marriage.
Yes. This kind of goes into our habit number 3 that we want to break, which is keeping financial secrets. So habit 2 is avoiding difficult conversations, and now 3 is, not having these financial secrets, which is also a hard conversation when you start talking about finances.
Well, when you're talking about money, it's an issue with a lot of relationships.
Yes. It is one of the top causes of divorce.
Yes. And so when you're talking about money and conversations, you want to be upfront with someone, because keeping secrets when it comes to your money, you're buying things, you're hiding things, you're writing things, and then you're just disposing them. That doesn't make a person who's in relationship with you feel good.
You mean writing like a check?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're like writing them and disposing them.
Well,
What are
that's
you
what
disposing?
I mean. Like, I guess we're not writing checks as much, are we? Nobody's really writing a check.
What did you mean? I was like, what are you?
Yeah, I'm talking about writing checks. So I'm saying that you're just doing things financially and you're hiding them from your spouse.
Yeah, that's not going to work out. In any relationship, especially a marriage, you need to be upfront. And we spoke about that in another podcast of some of the money roles that you'll have in a remarriage. But you need to be transparent. You have to break the habit of being sneaky. You really have to be transparent.
Yeah, I have a question. Do you think that we were transparent with each other? Have we always been pretty much?
I think we were, even when we first met. I was living with my dad. You were in an apartment and you didn't really have a nice car at the time.
Thank you.
You know, when we were just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Because we were both like adults and we're working. So it's like,
well,
what's happening here?
What's happening here is I went through a divorce.
Yeah.
And so after you go through a divorce, like many men do, there's a lot of things that happen and they have a lot of restarting that they have to engage in.
Right.
Because they lost this, they gave that away, they want to take care of responsibilities in this area. So there's a lot of things that happen. So a lot of guys are starting over, and I started over when it came to my vehicle.
You hadn't yet started over. You still had the old one.
Well, my thing is this. I needed a new vehicle.
Yeah.
That's what I needed.
But because we talked about it, it wasn't like a big deal.
No.
I mean, we knew.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay. You don't have air conditioning.
So I didn't keep anything a secret, and I wasn't hiding anything from you.
I don't think you did at all. Like, I had so much financial
mistrust
and issues in my last marriage. I think I brought that to the table like right away. And it's interesting because I felt like that was a hard conversation, that it was easy for you.
Yeah, it was easy for me because I felt like I wanted to put all my cards on the table. I didn't want to play games. So I did tell you, I said, I'm going to put all of my cards on the table. I want to be with you. I want to have a great relationship with you. I don't want to play any games.
And this is where I am financially.
And this is where I am financially. You know, I went through a divorce. I'm paying child support. So I was going through a lot of stuff. And I wanted to know if you could deal with that.
Yeah. And I think that made it easier. You're not sneaky and I'm not sneaky. No. So that helps.
It does help.
Yeah. So what like financial secret could we have at this point? I mean, there was nobody giving me money on the side.
We helped each other to get back on our feet financially.
I think that's important to let people know. Tip 3, to break the habit of keeping financial secrets. One thing you can do is, if it's hard to be transparent, you can kind of role play in a budget that you guys create for each other and see how you would spend it. You can make it light until you're feeling comfortable about how you would spend this money. You can do scenarios. Well, what if we had $5,000 or something that just came in, or we became millionaires? Whatever it is, to see how you would budget, to see how you would spend that money and use it, can make a harder situation or a conversation to be a little fun. When you put all of your cards on the table or your financial situation, what was nice is that we could help each other.
The reality is that you're two broken people coming together and you're going to help each other to heal.
If that's your mindset, that we can help each other, the only way you can do that is if you let each other know where you're at, really. And, you know, I felt like I gave you insight on some things that could help you with managing. You gave me insight and support on stuff that I could do with my funds and how I'm receiving them and where we're going to put them, even in small ways. I think even just admitting it or letting it out that here, this is where I am.
This is who I am, and this is where I'm at.
And this is what my money is doing.
Exactly.
Like, my money is doing something separate.
They talk about money flow. My money wasn't flowing, you know? So it's not a money flow. It was a money drizzle.
It was but you were okay. I mean, you could explain that. It's not the end all of all. It's not permanent.
And I don't believe in being fake, me personally. Some people do want to put up pretenses. I'm not a person who puts up pretenses, and neither are you.
Yeah, so you're like, this is the finances.
This is what it is. It's right here or it's not here. One of the two.
And hey, can you deal with this?
Exactly.
It's hard to understand sometimes what men go through financially in a divorce as opposed to what women go through financially in a divorce.
Well, many times men are giving to women in a divorce. The women are the receivers of funds.
Let me say that. Let me restate it. I feel like good men are the ones who are giving money away.
Yes.
Because there are many women who have been divorced that have not received a dime.
There are some. We have friends there like that as well. We know some people.
I know that I got a different perspective when you were honest with me about the money. And you may have had a different perspective on what women can go through in the same situation, because I don't feel like my ex gave me money, but you were giving money. You know, like I'm having to go to court, you're freely giving. You know, there was a lot of different things.
Well, when you say freely giving, it's not like I was like, here, just take this money right here.
I know, but you weren't like resisting it. Okay.
I wouldn't say that. What I would say is that I wasn't being a person who wouldn't take care of his responsibilities. I was being a person who knew what his responsibilities were and he was going to meet them.
Yeah,
and that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. You know? And so I was very honored or proud of you, or I respected you for that. And I was like, well, this can't be forever. I mean, I know it's only going to be at least 18 years.
Well, it feels like it's forever when you're doing it, though.
I knew that there's a time frame that would end.
Yeah.
I knew that our situation would get better, improving as we grew together. So you just want to practice being open and honest about your finances, and then it will make your remarriage and your relationship so much smoother.
Yes. So the next habit that we want to talk about is letting outside opinions run your relationship.
Oh, my goodness.
You definitely do not want to let other people run your relationship. Mm-hmm. I personally had that happen in a relationship, and I will tell you that I'm no longer in that relationship because of it. You want to let yourself and your spouse have the final say in your relationship.
So how would you tell somebody or explain how outside people can hurt your relationship?
Well, to me, there's several ways. Number one could be family. They could speak in your relationship and say things to you about your spouse, things that may not be in your spouse's favor.
Like, give an example.
Let's say my mother wouldn't do this, but let's say she was talking to me about you. Mm-hmm. She could say, well, I was talking to Jenny over here, and Jenny's a good girl. You know, I really like her. Mm-hmm. You know, I like her a little bit more than your spouse. Mm-hmm. That's something that is crossing the line. Your parents can also cross the line. Your friends can cross the line, and they have to know that they cannot speak into your relationship like that. But it's also up to you to stop that.
Yeah.
Some people don't stop their parents or their family or friends from speaking in their relationship about their spouse.
That's a good example that you gave, because sometimes your family can do comparisons. Mm-hmm. They can compare your new spouse to your old spouse. Like, you're not even saying anything. They just keep bringing it up.
Yes.
You know, like our friends Larry and Cherry. Cherry's ex didn't used to do that. Cherry's ex used to make all the money. Cherry's ex used to do this. And if I'm speaking that over the person, I can make the relationship feel
toxic.
Yeah. I can insert some opinions and ideas that will hurt that relationship.
And then the man feels resentful towards you, your family, and your friends.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear that so-and-so made $200 million and I'm making 20. You know, he doesn't want to hear that. He knows where he is. Mm-hmm. If you love him, you love him. If you don't, then move on.
I know one that can ruin a relationship. At least there were a lot of outside voices when we got together.
Yes.
That were saying, you should not get married that fast.
You
should not get remarried.
So they want to tell
him, you shouldn't get remarried to her. There was a lot of different opinions about if me and you should even be together.
I remember your father saying that we should have waited another 5 years before we got married.
He did say that. Yeah.
And he's the one who met me when I met you.
And he really liked you.
He loved me, actually.
He wasn't even against the marriage. He was
not against the marriage.
He just felt like we needed to wait 5 years.
5 years. So that means our kids would be 5 years younger. We'd be 5 years behind in the things that we had to learn. 5 years less of what we have.
Yeah. But that was somebody that was very close to me that really did like that we were coming together.
Yes.
But they gave their opinion, and their opinion opinion was not going to run our decisions in our relationship. So in that example, you and I had both decided we're going to get married.
Exactly.
And this is when we're going to get married. We had conversations, and believe me, guys, we had lengthy conversations. We even were in counseling during all this time. So we're set, we're good, we've decided, and then that outside voice who is a friend to both of us, like it wasn't somebody against either one of us saying, I really think you guys should wait 5 years. And I could have been like, well, this is my dad. He knows this, that.
He knew what you went through.
Yeah, he knows everything. Maybe he sees something that I don't see. But at some point, you do have to trust that you and your spouse or the person that you want to be married to made a decision together in good faith.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like we weren't just deciding it one night.
Yeah, we went through so much with our previous life that we had to have specific conversations. So we had difficult conversations.
We had all of it.
We had to talk about our finances. And then we had to stop letting outside voices have opinions about this current marriage.
Right. And the other thing that is kind of hard when you're now getting married, if you had been single for a while, you could have a habit of asking your best friend or asking your mom or asking your dad or anyone. You just have this person, your go-to person, and now that has to switch to your spouse.
So what about the people who feel like, well, they're my family, they're going to be there with me longer than you are? There are people who say that.
That's not always true.
And I don't think it's good for any relationship that you plan on having.
Well, you're not married to your family, and you're not going to have children with your family, and you're not sleeping with your family.
Yeah, hopefully you're not.
You are not building a future with your family. So I don't know how much they can say. I never really had that problem in relationships because not only are you not with them all the time, but they aren't the ones who are going to carry the real weight of the decisions that you make, So,
well, they're not going to deal with the outcome of what happens to you in your relationship. Now, sometimes some people say, whenever anything goes bad, I'll be there for you. But very few people actually live up to that statement.
Yeah, they go through something at the time that you're going through something. I think family is important, and family input is definitely valuable, especially if they are for your best interest. If you have family members that are loving and caring, that is a blessing. And you don't have family members that are spiteful or jealous or kind of manipulating you. They don't want you to be with someone because they want you to be with them. They don't have anybody, or their life is not going in the direction that they want. So they kind of want you around. And
well, they say misery loves company, right?
Well, I don't know. I was wondering about that when my dad had said that because I was living with him.
Yeah.
So it's like, another 5 years. Was he talking really for me, or was he kind of had his best interest at hand? So you really have to
take what they say with a grain of salt.
You have to vet who you listen to, but then you still have to make the decision if you're going to act on their opinion. You can listen to anyone.
You can. If I'm big enough and grown enough to get married, I'm big enough and grown enough to make a decision and to stand by that decision.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad.
And sometimes you have to set boundaries with your family early on. It's like, hey, I know that I am marrying a man with children. You don't have to keep bringing it up. Right? Like the conversation, you don't have to talk about your friends' sons that don't have children. You don't have to keep letting me know about other options. One thing I really appreciated with you is that I felt like you set boundaries with your family and helped me to set boundaries with mine.
And I think that setting those boundaries actually helps your current relationship because now there's more trust, there's more love, understanding, and agreement for the things that we choose to do. We know that we're agreeing to do it with each other.
Yeah.
And we plan on doing it for the rest of our lives together.
I think women might have more of a challenge of setting boundaries because it seems like a lot of people want to give their opinions to ladies, you know, and sometimes It can be out of like trying to protect them. It could be kind of, I want you for myself. I don't know.
Well, there are friends who want you but for themselves. They don't want you to get
Yeah.
married because now who are they going to hang out with? Who's their,
Right.
their wing girl?
There was a gentleman that was like a friend in my friend group that really warned me of you.
Of me?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was like, you should not
Yeah,
deal with guys from church.
Oh. Well, that's the guy who wanted you. I'll
Right.
tell you that right now. All the guys know that there's another guy out there.
So you just have,
If he wants to be a friend, he's wanting to be more than just a friend.
you have to make sure those outside opinions don't run your relationship. You have to find something that you know to be true for yourself. And if you and your spouse make a decision, that's how it has to be. So, make sure that you are abiding by that. Because what you don't want to find yourself in is a situation where you and your spouse has made the decision and then you go do something else because somebody spoke to you and spoke some doubt.
Yeah, that could actually hurt your heart and your life. Your life has been altered because of someone else's decision and you don't really know their motive.
Yeah, so it's hard at first to break away from those people. It's really best in a marriage to come together as one with your spouse.
We have a tip to break the habit of letting outside opinions run your relationship.
And that is if it's weighing on you too much, like this particular opinion is one that you can't just block out, we suggest that you bring it to your spouse. Now, you don't want to bring all these opinions to
Not
your
all of
spouse,
them.
all these outside things. But if it's something that you're like, man, that really is causing me to
Think twice about it.
think twice about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and let your spouse know and present it in a way that it's not that you're doubting them or, not wanting to be on one accord. It's just that this certain opinion or this certain thing has just weighed on you. It's talking to you somehow.
It's basically grabbed your attention. And,
Yeah.
and it also depends on who said it.
Right. So you have to have your filter on to know if this is something you bring to your spouse. But if it's really, really heavy on you and it could cause you not to go in the same direction of your spouse, definitely bring it up to them.
So the next habit that we want to break is neglecting personal growth.
It should be number one. But maybe that's for every stage of your relationship. You want to have personal growth because the relationship can't be any healthier than you are.
That's correct.
And we have experienced relationships and couples who one person is depressed or one person is, very stressed, overworking, and another person is like in fear. All those three scenarios that we have seen, their relationship suffers for that.
I like to make sure that I'm a person who wants to take care of my personal growth because, like you just said, if I'm no good, then the relationship's really going to be no good. So I want to be a strong tower for myself and for you. And we have children, so I got to be there for our children as well.
So how do you do your personal growth?
Well, I like to listen to motivational things. I also like to take care of myself and my body. I play pickleball or games or do things outside that are physical, running, walking, things like that. So I like to keep my mind sharp. I like to read, do things in physical and spiritual and emotional ways. So to me, those things help to center myself because if I'm off-centered, then I'm going to be talking crazy. I'm going to be thinking crazy. And I really don't want to do anything crazy.
Yeah. I think for me, for personal growth, I like to have hobbies. The pickleball is one.
Yeah.
I do like that. I also think that I look and study a lot of self-help books. I do like them. I like to see different strategies and ways, processes that I can help myself to heal, to help with my understanding of other people. I really work at communication. I think I had just one or two communication styles.
At one time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't really have a way or knowledge to know how to communicate in other ways to still get my point across. The saying that you can catch more flies with honey than with, what was the other one? I think, the saying that you can catch more flies with honey, I didn't really know that and how effective it could work in communication.
So you're saying basically you don't have to be a mean person or
No.
an angry person. You could be kind and compassionate, and you can get more being that way than trying to be a rough and tough person who's going to, I'm going to tell you my whole mind.
I think that's what a lot of ladies that have been like in masculine
energy.
Yeah, their masculine energy, or they've had roles in their job or whatever where they had to really be in a masculine position, and then you come home and you're like, okay, I have to cut that off and be feminine. And so that was part of my personal growth, because I know for sure if I stayed in my masculine energy all the time, that was not going to be good for my relationship.
Well, it definitely wouldn't work with me.
Right. So it's like, that was a personal growth for me, to embrace it, to understand it, to help bring it out, to flourish it, to nurture it. Another personal growth thing I had to learn was how to de-stress myself and
how do you de-stress yourself?
Well, like really being intentional about stopping what I was doing to rest, or stopping what I'm doing to do something that is more fulfilling, like gardening. When I really got into the garden and learning about that, it just took my mind away from, the daily hustle and bustle, and I could just focus on tending to the plants and growing food for my family.
And I'll say, as being your husband, I want to be a part of that, because I believe that if husbands and wives, this is my own belief, if husbands and wives do things together, then it makes the bond between them stronger.
Yeah.
So I wanted to help you with your gardening. So I decided I'm going to build a garden for you.
Yeah, you helped me with that. I loved it. I really appreciate it. And I think it was part of your personal growth too, like stepping outside of yourself and helping, and I think you enjoyed being in the garden too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we both did.
One of the things I was going to say that I really like to do to help myself in my personal growth is I like to listen to spa music. So we like to get massages together, and we like to relax and do those things. But listening to spa music in my headphones, that really helps me to relax. It helps me to center myself, to think about things, it gives me more foresight, because I'm really thinking about the future. I'm thinking about the present, of course, but also with the future, I'm thinking about that a lot.
The importance of personal growth is so that you don't rely on your spouse to like complete you or to fill in the gaps. Like, I don't have the expectation that you need to make me happy. I'm sad. Make me happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not dealing with the sadness for myself.
That's putting a lot of pressure on your spouse.
Yeah. Or you're like, I am frustrated, so stop talking to me, or whatever.
Well, sometimes I do say
I know, that's why I knew that one. But I'm not, you don't say that all the time.
No.
And if you did say it every single day, like something is internally,
off.
Yeah, off with you. And until you address it, what can anyone do? It would make the relationship very strenuous, putting so much strain on your partner. And nurturing your personal growth only helps like everybody around you.
Well, people want to be around you when they know you're not going to bite their head off.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a marriage and a remarriage can make you feel that way. Can make you feel tense.
It can. There's a lot of things that happen in remarriages because you have a blended family part, you have the finances, we're blending our finances, you have your lifestyle, you have your material things. Because healing, that's definitely a top 3. I remember when we first got married, and like we were talking about, we didn't live in the same house or the same city. We came together, and then we had to get all of our stuff, bring it in one house, and make it all look like it's a cohesive home.
Yeah, that was hard.
Remember that?
Because we didn't want to let go of our things, and it looked kind of mismatched and hodgepodge.
You could definitely tell that there were 2 people with 2 different households living in this one place.
2 different styles.
Exactly.
And we made it work, and we tried to continue to understand each other and to learn our preferences, and kind of like we wanted to pour into this new marriage.
Yes.
We weren't fighting it to say, say, why isn't it like my other relationship, or why isn't it like the best time in my life that I can remember?
Well, the thing is that we're talking about growing individually, but you have to grow in your relationship and you have to grow in life. So you're either going to grow or you're going to go backwards. There is no staying the same.
And so you might as well invest in it.
Yeah, invest in yourself, invest in your relationship, and grow.
And there's no like bad stigma about it. There should be no shame. And we don't want you to feel any bad feelings or embarrassment or anything because of the situation you find yourself in. It may not be where you have wanted to go. You know, we totally understand that. And we want you to know that it can be better. You can grow. So the tip to help you break the habit of neglecting personal growth
is to commit to blocking time out for yourself.
Yes. This can be for self-care, for a hobby, or for therapy.
Yes.
Anything that you need, block off time in your schedule. Let your family know this is when I'm going to do my personal growth time.
Yes.
And definitely invest in yourself.
So if any of these habits resonated with you, don't feel bad. There's no judgment.
Right.
We are here for you, and we want to share them with you so that you have something to just think about and you can start your change today.
Right. You can just go forward. So let's recap these habits. All right.
Yeah.
So number 1, we want to stop comparing our spouse to our ex.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't compare me to him.
Don't do that. And number 2,
stop avoiding the difficult conversations.
go ahead and have them.
Just have them.
We'll hold your hand.
Yeah, just have them. You know, we'll hold your hand and we'll just, walk through the valley with you.
With you, yes.
Yeah.
And our heart goes out to you if you really feel like anxious when you have certain conversations, when you feel exposed.
Well, there is a vulnerability when you're having those conversations. You will be vulnerable. But what better person to be vulnerable with than the person you love and you married? That person that you want to share your life with.
Yes. And you'll be surprised at the healing that can come out of a difficult conversation.
Yes.
And then we have habit number 3. We want to stop keeping those financial secrets and
stop buying things and tucking them away.
Yeah, we're going to stop with the sneaky.
Yeah, don't be sneaky.
We're going to be transparent and help each other with that. And then number 4, we're going to stop letting outside opinions run our relationship.
That was always a big thing for me.
Yeah, we talked about it. And then number 5, we're going to stop neglecting our personal growth, thinking that we don't need to change and we don't need anything and we're okay. We are going to invest in something that brings us joy so that we can heal whatever wounds that we have.
I wanted to say that, mental health is real. Sometimes you just need a mental break and you need to heal from some traumas from your youth, from your marriage, your previous marriage, from your job, from things that are going on in your life. Just a lot of stresses that are happening to you. So you want to just relax, and just grow yourself. Cut the world off. Sometimes cut that social media off so that you can just keep it moving.
And grow and work on that. And so we know that it's a hard road.
Yeah.
So give yourself some grace. Give your partner some grace.
Yes.
During this journey, sometimes it's easy to look at the other person and do a lot of blaming and pointing out a lot of things, pointing out what they're doing, because sometimes that is a response to
defense mechanism.
Yeah, it's like a defense mechanism. You don't want to really look at yourself, but we want to encourage you to just give yourself grace. Take each day, day by day, and eventually you will feel more confident about all the decisions and the different experiences you have in a remarriage. We know that if you take baby steps towards your personal growth, day by day, little by little, that you will gain your confidence back. You will start to flourish and you will begin to kind of zone in into your new life.
If you have a habit that you'd like to share with us that we can add to our list, let us know in the comment section. So if you've enjoyed this podcast, can you do 2 things for us? Number 1, share with another couple that you know will benefit from the subject matter that we talked about today. And number 2,
give us a like and subscribe to our channel. We're so thankful that you tuned in to the podcast today and you are continuing to grow to have a healthy, happy relationship.
We'll see you in the next episode.